Worry is invisible until it isn't. It starts as a thought. Then it becomes a pattern. Then it shapes your decisions, your energy, and your life. It's the quiet voice in the back of your mind that whispers, "What if?" And before you know it, your moments are filled with anxiety about things that haven't even happened. The Stoics understood this kind of suffering. They called it the suffering of anticipation. Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Worry is not preparation. It is distraction, distortion. It pulls you away from the only place where life actually happens, the present moment. You cannot live in fear and also live in power. You cannot serve both anxiety and clarity. You must choose. This is not about ignoring danger. It's about sharpening your mind. It's not about becoming careless. It's about becoming courageous. In this video, we'll walk through 15 Stoic principles and practices to help you stop worrying, one clear thought at a time. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Accept what you can't control. The root of all worry is resistance. We resist what is. We resist what might be. We resist uncertainty, change, and imperfection. But the Stoics taught us to draw a sharp line between two things, what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and some are not." This truth is simple, but not easy. Most of us try to control outcomes, emotions, people, the future. But all of that lies outside the Stoic boundary, and anything outside of that boundary is a source of unnecessary suffering. When you try to control what you cannot, you plant the seeds of anxiety. When you accept what is outside your control, you plant the seeds of freedom. Worry cannot survive in a mind that is aligned with reality. So what can you control? Your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, your effort. That's it. Everything else is external and must be let go. This is not passivity. It's precision. It's discipline. It's the art of focusing your energy only where it belongs. You want to stop worrying? Start by releasing everything that doesn't belong to you. Let go of the outcome. Own your attitude. That's where your real power begins. Chapter 2. Stop suffering before it happens. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Worry is a kind of self-inflicted pain. You live through moments that haven't even arrived. You feel fear about things that may never happen, and in doing so, you suffer twice, once in your imagination, and once, maybe, in reality. Ask yourself, is the thing I'm afraid of happening right now? Is this a problem or just a possibility? Most of what we worry about lives in the realm of what if. What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if things fall apart? But what if is a trap. It never ends, and it keeps you stuck in a future that doesn't even exist yet. The Stoic doesn't suffer in advance. The Stoic stays grounded in what is, not in what might be. Let the future come when it comes. Until then, live here, breathe here, act here, because right now, you're okay. And that's all you ever need to deal with, this moment. Chapter 3. Master the art of premeditatio malorum. Worry is not always fear of the unknown. Sometimes it's fear of being unprepared. The Stoics understood this, and they created a practice for it, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. It means imagining what could go wrong, not to panic, but to prepare. to visualize difficulty ahead of time so that you meet it with strength, not surprise. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Today, I may meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." Why would a Roman emperor begin his day like that? Because it made him calm. He didn't expect life to be smooth. He expected it to be life, and in that expectation he found peace. You cannot stop challenges from coming, but you can stop pretending they won't. When you prepare your mind, difficulty becomes manageable. This doesn't make you pessimistic. It makes you powerful. You stop being surprised. You stop overreacting. You meet hardship like a warrior, ready, grounded, prepared. So the next time your mind spirals into what if, ask yourself, have I trained for this? Have I prepared my character, my discipline, my mindset? If the answer is yes, then worry fades, because worry is fear in disguise, and preparation is the antidote. Chapter 4. Return to the present moment. Worry lives in the future, but your strength lives here. Right now, in this moment, you are breathing. You are alive. You are capable. This moment isn't just where life happens, it's where clarity lives. And clarity is the enemy of worry. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." That's not just poetic, it's practical, because no one has ever solved tomorrow's problems by obsessing over them today. You will never find peace in the future. You can only build it in the now. The Stoic trains the mind to stop time traveling, to stop reliving the past, to stop forecasting doom. They breathe, they focus, they do what's in front of them. Right now, your only job is this breath, this task, this step. Everything else is noise, and worry cannot survive in a mind anchored to the now. Chapter 5. Train your mind like a warrior. The Stoics did not believe the mind should be left untamed. They saw it like a muscle, one that must be exercised, challenged, and strengthened every single day. Worry thrives in an untrained mind. It takes root in a mind that lets every thought pass by without question. It grows in the space where fear goes unchallenged. But a trained mind sees worry for what it is, an unverified story, a distortion of reality, and like a warrior sharpening his blade, the Stoic sharpens awareness. They catch the spiral. They cut through illusion. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." That means your suffering is not caused by life itself, it's caused by the way you interpret it. So change the interpretation. Redirect the focus. Discipline the thoughts. A warrior trains with purpose. You must do the same, with your words, your habits, your inner dialogue. You are not at the mercy of your mind, you are its master. Chapter 6. Move into action. Worry is a loop. It feeds on hesitation, and the longer you wait, the louder it gets. But action breaks the cycle. Action restores clarity. Action silences fear, not because you have no fear, but because you moved anyway. The Stoics were not passive philosophers. They were doers, builders, warriors of action. They believed that philosophy wasn't meant to sit on a shelf. It was meant to shape how you live. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the answer to worry. Don't overthink it. Take one clear step forward, not the perfect step, not the dramatic one, just the next right thing. When you act, you prove to your mind that you're not helpless. You create momentum, and momentum is more powerful than any what if. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Move through it. That's how the Stoic lives, not without fear, but without letting fear decide. Chapter 7. Declutter the mind. Worry loves a crowded mind. When your thoughts are scattered, your emotions follow. When everything feels urgent, nothing feels clear. This is why the Stoics valued simplicity, not just in life, but in thought. They practiced mental clarity the way some people practice physical strength, not by adding more noise, but by removing what was unnecessary. Seneca said, "If you wish to be loved, love. If you wish to be wise, reflect. If you wish to be calm, simplify." Too many people are overwhelmed because their minds are full of things that do not matter. What they saw online, what others think, what might happen 10 years from now. But the Stoic mind filters. It protects its focus. It chooses its inputs wisely. Ask yourself, is this thought useful? Is it true? Does it help me act with virtue right now? If not, let it go. A clean mind is a calm mind, and a calm mind cannot be controlled by worry. Chapter 8. Turn the volume down on external noise. In today's world, worry isn't just internal. It's pumped into your ears and eyes daily. You scroll, you compare, you consume headlines, commentary, opinions, drama, and then you wonder why you feel anxious. The Stoics didn't live in a world of smartphones, but they understood the danger of distraction. They knew that a distracted mind is a directionless mind, and directionlessness breeds fear. Epictetus taught, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." You don't need to argue with the noise. You need to step away from it, turn it off, unplug, disconnect so you can reconnect with your own judgment, your own breath, your own life. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Take a walk without your phone. Spend a morning without media. Let the mind reset, because the mind cannot process the truth if it's constantly drowning in noise. Worry feeds on chaos. Peace requires space. Chapter 9. Journal to untangle the mind. Your mind is not meant to carry everything. It's meant to process, decide, and let go. But if you hold every thought inside, it becomes a tangled mess. Journaling is how the Stoics untied the knots. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations for anyone else. He wrote them to himself, to reflect, to ground, to clear the fog. When you write, you see the worry on the page. And once it's visible, you can challenge it. You can question the fear, dissect the emotion, and return to reason. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? And could I survive that? What part of this is in my control? Write it. Answer it. Breathe. Your journal doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be honest, because honesty calms the mind, and worry cannot hide in the presence of truth. Chapter 10. Accept uncertainty as a part of life. Worry often comes from a craving for certainty. We want to know the outcome. We want a guarantee. We want life to be predictable, safe, and under our control. But the Stoics knew that life is never fully in our hands. There will always be uncertainty, and resisting that fact only creates more fear. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You don't need to know everything to move forward. You don't need a perfect plan to make the next choice. And you certainly don't need to predict the future to have peace in the present. The Stoic accepts the unknown, not because they enjoy chaos, but because they are prepared to adapt. They anchor in character, not outcomes. They trust in reason, not forecasts. The path to peace is not through control, it's through acceptance. You cannot outrun uncertainty, but you can outgrow your fear of it. Chapter 11. Reframe what you fear. Worry often comes from exaggeration. Your mind makes something bigger than it really is. You begin to fear not just failure, but humiliation. Not just difficulty, but disaster. But what if fear is just a message you haven't translated yet? What if, instead of seeing it as a threat, you saw it as a teacher? Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." You get to choose your opinion. You get to decide what a challenge means to you. You can reframe failure as feedback. You can reframe uncertainty as potential. You can reframe fear as the gateway to strength. This is not delusion. It's clarity. It's the ability to see your situation through the lens of reason instead of reaction. Because when you change your perspective, you don't just change your emotions, you change your power. Chapter 12. Stop trying to predict every outcome. Worry thrives on mental rehearsals. You try to run every possible scenario through your head, just in case. But instead of helping, it just leaves you exhausted. The Stoics knew this tendency well. They called it what it is: wasted effort. Seneca said, "He who indulges in empty fears earns himself real fears." You are not obligated to run simulations of disaster. You are not required to prepare for every possible misstep. You are not weak for choosing to stay in the moment rather than trying to control the next 100. When you stop trying to be a fortune teller, you start becoming a Stoic. Someone who lives in truth, someone who acts with focus, someone who accepts that not knowing is not weakness, it's life. Release the need to know. Replace it with the courage to respond, whatever may come. Chapter 13. Choose virtue over control. Worry often comes from trying to manage outcomes, trying to make things perfect, predictable, and pleasing to everyone. But the Stoics had a different compass. They didn't live to control outcomes. They lived to embody virtue. Virtue, courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance was the highest goal, not success, not praise, not comfort, just this: did I live with integrity today? Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." When you orient your life around virtue, you begin to let go of everything you can't control, because it no longer matters if the world agrees, if things go your way, or if the path is smooth. What matters is that you remain aligned with truth, with reason, with who you want to be. You want to stop worrying? Then stop chasing control and start choosing character. Because though while you cannot always win, you can always act with virtue. And that is a victory no one can take from you. Chapter 14. Accept that loss is part of life. Much of our worry is rooted in the fear of loss. Loss of money, loss of relationships, loss of status, loss of comfort. But the Stoics trained themselves to understand one truth: everything you have is on loan. Seneca said, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." You will lose things. You will lose people. And one day you will lose your own life. But that does not mean you should live in fear. It means you should live with intention. Gratitude, not attachment. Appreciation, not clinging. Use what you have. Love who you can. Build what you must. But never forget, nothing external defines you. When you accept loss, you stop fearing it. And when you stop fearing it, you free your soul. Chapter 15. Remember memento mori. You could leave life right now. This is the ultimate Stoic principle. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. It sounds dark, but it's actually liberating, because it reminds you of what truly matters. You don't have time to waste on fear. You don't have days to lose to overthinking, to anxiety, to imaginary catastrophes. You don't have years to live as a slave to what if. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Let that wake you up. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it make you bold, not reckless, but clear. Live with urgency, live with calm, live with courage, and most importantly, live." Final reflection. You are not here to live in fear. You are not here to be ruled by thoughts that weaken you. You are not here to live inside a prison built by your own mind. You are here to think clearly, to act with purpose, to walk with strength, to live with peace. Worry is a habit, but so is clarity. So is discipline. So is courage. You can choose to train your mind differently. You can challenge your old patterns. You can stop overthinking. You can stop rehearsing pain. You can reclaim your power. One decision, one breath, one choice at a time. The Stoics didn't live without fear. They simply refused to be ruled by it. Now it's your turn. Stop overthinking. Master the mind. Reclaim your power.